Hey guys, and welcome back to This Week in Awesome. Basically, a series that I probably didn't invent it. It's probably been done in 1,000 other ways. But basically, every now and again, I am having trouble finding stuff on YouTube and or stuff on the internet and or media, whatever, to intake that I think is really cool or interesting or worth your time, essentially. So my method is just subscribing to a bunch of people and constantly checking in. And then, yeah, just kind of knowing what I like and then going for it that way. If I had a series like this for me, I'd appreciate it. And it's basically a series where I just throw things at you guys that you may enjoy and that I very much enjoyed. So if in the past you have not liked any of the things that I mentioned on the series, then we may be very different people. And we may just like different things. So just take note of that. But without further ado, also, before we get into this too much, it's been those 2 days, so I just made a Let's Talk a little while ago, talking about how I needed to gear down a little bit, took a couple gear down breaks. What? I took a little bit of a time to calm down and sharpen thy axe, which also I kind of figured out maybe means, or for me it could mean, learning new skills, but also resting, but also learning new skills so that we can still go to bed feeling somewhat accomplished. Moving on. Okay. Also, we're standing. This is the whole thing today. Record a bunch of videos and we're up on our feet right after leg day, which hurts a lot. But hey, Anyways, so first things first. The one thing that's been helping me a lot lately is music. Sometimes I really get into TV shows and I really just want to watch something play out. Other times I really like games and I'm just like, man, this is a hidden gem. I love the way it's mechanically structured. Sure, a little bit less so because that takes a lot more time than a TV show that you can kind of just blitz through. But this week, it was music. This week, especially with the whole me trying to gear down and kind of take a knee and calm down and recuperate and then jump back into making videos, music was amazing. And I don't know, some weeks you're like, you have an ear for it. You have an ear for it just is that much more or that much better. So I don't know if these will really hit you guys the same way they hit me. But the first one I would suggest to you is 3 songs I have for you today. The first one is Unlike Pluto, an artist that I very much think is amazing. And this song, I haven't actually heard many people re-upload this song, so yeah, but it's called First Generation. And I've listened to this song maybe 17 times in the last 2 days. So it's been a bit. And it's one of those songs where I'm worried because I don't know if anyone's gonna have the same response. I think I just listened to it at the perfect time and I just caught something within the vocal songness of it. So what I'm getting at is throughout the song there's these moments where the vocalist the singer pushes his voice to a really cool point. To where it's not like he's breaking or he's singing his heart out or he has these pipes on him that are able to shout and make this crazy triumphant sound. It's a mixture of everything. I do feel like he does do that though, but in the right medium. Because there's some people who just have pipes on them, and when they go to sing, you fucking hear it, and it's like, whew, goddamn. But oftentimes feel like they go too much to the point where it's like, okay, and it's a bit loud, and it's a bit loud. Okay, we're back in it. Cool, that was great. Bit loud, but cool anyway. But because of the way, I don't know how he does it, but in the song, I think it's a mixture of because the beat is a little bit more higher up and it builds with the song to where it's not just this one tone that's really loud as well. And I think that's what it is as well. Is he has a voice that is multi-toned, it seems. It's not just an opera lady going, oh, and it's just that one tone just bleeding through your ear. I don't know, I just felt like this song, I listened to it so much, which is really rare. I usually listen to a song 2 or 3 times, not over and over and over again. I don't even know, I'm not even really really listening to what it's about. It's called First Generation. I don't know exactly what it's talking about in the song. I'm not sure what the meaning is behind it. It's purely because I really like the vocal sound. In the emotion within the sound. And yeah. I don't know, man. I listened to it and I thought it was something different. I thought the way the song, the singer, Unlike Pluto, sang it was different. Really cool, kind of different. So much more emotion and passion within a song and singing. You may think otherwise, but give it a listen. Maybe give it 2. Because I think that was one of the things that I listened to it and I was like, that's kind of cool. And I listened to it again. I was like, oh, wait, no, there it is. There's that thing I thought I heard. And then you listen to it 3 more times and you're waiting for it. That special, like him pushing his voice to the brink. And because it is so multi-toned, it just kind of does well. That one is a little bit more emotional vocalist mixed with some like good beat. And yeah, this one is more just beat. It is like a mixture of Imagine Dragons' most popular song. I don't know what it's called. You'll know it when you hear it. And Kanye West, it's the song that's in Saints Row cutscene, that power song. God, you'll just listen to it. It's like a real like kind of like workout song. It's super high energy, super loud manner to it, I suppose. But yeah, I just think it's real good. Just for like if you're working out, fucking dude, this will be your lifeblood. It's real intense as well. It's not like a song that's real like soft and like whatever. Super hard. Super hard. Not like rap or anything like that, but just both of them combining with like beats. It's very dubsteppy as well, so be warned if you don't like that. But yeah. Anyways, pivoting hard the other way. The third song I have for you guys is the song that, again, all these songs you might have heard of, so forgive me if that is the thing. Oh, also that Imagine Dragons song. It just says Imagine Dragons and Kanye West. Radioactive Power. Codeco edit. I'll link you to it. Okay. Again, the third one is the opposite. The artist is named Mitchell or Mitchell? I'm gonna say Mitchell. Mitchell. School. I'm gonna link it. I'll link the full title in the goddamn description. But the song is called Falling Apart. And whoo boy, is this song ever like crazy. It's super passionate. And there's like this certain hook that like you're waiting for and you're hoping that he does again, which is this really soft like melody tone. It's almost like a comfort zone for the whole song, because it kind of builds through like an orchestra a little bit and then kind of comes falling back down, and how it picks it back up is with this like chorus of like 3 or 4 words, but the dude sings it in such a angelic, perfect way. And it just feels like, it feels a bit sad, but it also feels hopeful because of the way he's doing. It's almost like someone kind of coaxing you back to life. It's really interesting the way he's like able to kind of pull you back with that one flutter of his song / part in the song. Yeah, just really liked it. Thought you guys would as well. But those are the 3 songs. Unlike Pluto's song, Imagine Dragon edit kind of mash up with another Kanye West song, and a Kanye West song called Power. That's what it was. Anyways, and Falling Apart by Mike Mitchell, if I'm saying that right. Both lovely songs, across the board. Again, for those of you guys who do not know, I like almost all music, so they're very all over the place. One's really hard dubstep, one's kind of like nice and playful, like Rise kind of anthem, and the other one's super emo times. Looking forward and I'm hoping for the best kind of thing. Go check those out if you guys so desire. Now, the next thing for TV shows that I would love for you guys to check out and are worth your time, maybe this one I'm not sure about because I haven't finished, but I've started and it's pretty good. Yeah. And it's Fate Stay Night Apocalypse or Fate / Apocalypse. I think it's Fate. It's the Apocalypse one. I know it's Apocalypse. It's the Fate series with Apocalypse in it. It's on Netflix. I'm watching it. And I've watched the Fate Stay Night, I believe, and Fate Stay Ultimate Blade Work, whatever it is, and now this. And the reason why this one to me stands out, whereas the other ones I haven't really recommended because they're a bit niche. Ultimate Blade Works is a little bit more kind of is better than the Fate Stay Night for me, just because it takes itself a bit. It's too real. It's too intense for me. Without being intense, yeah. I don't know if I'm making sense, but let's just talk about Fate Stay Apocalypse. The reason why that I'm suggesting this one is because for me personally, when it comes to like shows or anything like that, or games, anything, I really love when ideas are introduced. Like the show itself can kind of be iffy as long as their ideas are at least interesting and my mind can play with them for a long time. I'm going to suggest you guys another anime which is very much that. In Fate Apocalypse, there was this one scene that was like a total sell for me in terms of like, that's really fucking cool. And one of the whole premise of the show is really weird. Basically, it's like a glorified chess game where you summon a servant to fight in this grand war. It's set in our kind of timeline, except with magic in the world, but it's not that drastically changed. Like, it's not like having magic has changed the fabrication of the world now. But yes, there are these people called masters that summon forth their servants that can participate in this war. Why you would want to do that is because you get a wish if you do participate and win. So it's like a battle of, it's like the most hardcore chess ever. That's like the general theme of all the Fate Stay property, whatever it is. Anime thing. And there's the thing with this anime is that you don't need to watch anything. Like Fate Stay Apocalypse, I feel like more than anything, you can just jump in. You don't need to know like any of the other bullshit. Like you don't need to watch Fate Stay Night or anything like that to be aware of it or being able to enjoy it, because it is like it's a long-running series that is basically just around the idea of like super heroes from the past fighting each other in our current day, which is a cool idea. But one of the things that they did in Apocalypse that I thought was really cool, and again, to echo that thing I just said, where like if you enjoy the idea of things and being able to play with them in your mind, and that's what's entertaining for you, like me, then this is a show that really much does that. And you guys will notice that, like, again, Overlord, I love to pieces. My Hero does it quite a little bit, where it introduces neat ideas, like if you were to have a quirk, but it would have some sort of a negative as well as a positive. Anyways, Apocalypse. There's this character called Frankenstein in the show, and I've always loved the idea of like a gender bender Frankenstein. I just thought it'd be a really cool notion, because a dude just getting angry and being like, "Goo, I'm so mad," is incredibly like, all right. Like a dude upset is kind of just like, okay, he just seems like an angry berserker, you know? Whereas if it was a female, it would seem like you could do a lot more tweaking with certain things. And in the show, they do this. Not in the way that I've always thought about it, but in the way that's pretty cool even still. And they go about it in a really interesting way where they actually give her, like, backstory. So something you can do in storytelling, which is really neat, is you take an event or an aspect of a story that's not really fleshed out, and then you proceed to try to flesh it out in your own way. So Frankenstein and that whole thing is very much that. There's a lot of, like, you know, the basics, right, of, like, Victor Frankenstein makes Frankenstein, and his castle gets burned down, or his ranch or whatever gets burned down. That's all you really know. Where in this show, it goes like really in depth into like what happened, and it's really cool because one of the things that they talk about is that this Victor Frankenstein was trying to make this death weapon, the ultimate death weapon, which happened to be a cognitive aware person, but she ended up being more human than just a weapon. What do you think about? What would be a good weapon? To be a weapon that knows how to react and change, kind of like a self-understanding AI. Anyways, so Victor Frankenstein makes a creature, she pops up, and he's disgusted with what he makes. He thinks she's just an utter monster, and he's terrified of her. And there's various things that the show does, but to summarize it, basically, this Frankenstein person, this female Frankenstein that he creates, he hates, he despises it, he thinks it's a monster, it's gross, and all these things. And of course, she's one of the summons that's participating in this Holy Grail War thing. But one of the scenes in the anime that was really cool is that they don't make her just like evil. In fact, they make her very interesting in what she does. So she's basically like a toddler kind of, but also has the foresight of a learned human almost. It's really weird because she's made with parts of someone else, but like she's just born, so it's really weird. But she sees this animal that got attacked, and she sees the color of the animal's blood, and I think it's guts. She sees this and she thinks, wow, what an amazing color, this red color, it's so pretty. So she picks up the red, the guts and stuff, and she brings it to Frankenstein to show him how like beautiful it is. Of course, but all he sees is this thing coming at him with guts, and just he's horrified even more with this creation, thinking that she just disemboweled someone, but it was already like a dead animal that she just picked up the guts from, which is gross. But at the end of the day, not evil. And she doesn't know any better, so she's just looking at the color, not like knowing what that is necessarily. Because she's made by, I think, like robot parts in the anime. So she shows this to him, and he's repulsed and all this other stuff. And I think how the story goes, and I'm not sure if I'm just misremembering this or this is my own like fantasy of like, this would be cool if this happened this way. When she shows him this and he reacts so disgustingly and he hates her and he's like, you're the worst, she recognizes that he will never love her. So she begs and pleads that he could at least make someone that could love her, so that she wouldn't be so alone in the world, make another Frankenstein so I'm not alone in the world, this broken thing that I am. And of course he's an asshole, he doesn't, but that's her goal, and that's kind of the whole theme throughout the entire story of Fate's Stay Night, is that each one of these heroic spirits, or these, not really heroic, but important people that have attained great power, have this like unfinished business, or this overwhelming desire, which could be offered or granted if they win the Holy Grail War. So that's kind of the whole thing, is everyone has their own kind of like reasons for participating in this brutal event. And that was hers. Hers is that she can find someone that could love her. So that's another version of her, so she didn't have to be so alone in the world. Which, again, as of just like a thought, like just taking the basic story of Victor Frankenstein and just adding that much humanity into it and all those things, to me was beautiful. And I loved that. I love that kind of stuff. And it doesn't end well for Mrs. Frankenstein, but, you know, just, yeah, the show itself is good, but that premise doesn't really end particularly great. But, yeah, it's filled with stuff like that. Like these cool encounters where you're like, oh, okay, sure. I guess. Why not? Kind of mentality. So yes, that is Fate Stay Apocalypse, or just Fate Apocalypse. I'm pretty sure it was what it's called. The main story, by the way, is about a little, he's like a clone, kinda. He's like a made human that was made for nothing but to be energy, essentially. He's our main protagonist. He goes through some shit, powers up, fights in the war. Fun times, good times. It's 20 episodes. Have fun. Give or take 20. The next one, which very much epitomizes, have we talked about this? Maybe we've already talked about this, but this show is the epitome of, and the reason why I kept watching it was because of that. The thing I just mentioned, that I really enjoy anything that has cool ideas. It doesn't necessarily have to execute 100% on those ideas, just introducing them is enough for my imagination to be like, yeah, it's interesting. Let me think about this for like 4 days, because I'm a crazy person. Anyways, we are talking about Black Clover. Oh my golly, guys. When I was on stream, and I mentioned, we go off on stream, guys. I rant about anime constantly on stream. So, yeah, what went down was me being like, I'm watching Black Clover and it's pretty good. And then the whole stream was just, Black Clover's trash. It's so shit. It's the worst. So trash. And then I finished season 1 and I was like, you know what? It wasn't the worst. It wasn't like the best show I ever watched, but I liked the premises. I said that on stream. It's trash. It's shit. It's still trash. And I was like, okay, people don't like the show. Alright, fair enough. I still enjoy it. Whatever. And the reason why I enjoyed season 1 is because it introduced things that were really cool to me. Like, again, a guild of, like, misfits. Not like Fairy Tail, like total misfits. But they happen to be some of the strongest ever. They just kind of lack what that world demands of them, which is like to try to build up and have this like idea of honor and power, meaning this and this, which they're not really about that. They're more about like, they're pushed by their own convictions, not necessarily by like the hive mind of a guild, which is what kind of fucks them up a little bit. But anyways, the show has a really cool idea in general. Just the premise is really interesting, where it is in a world filled with magical users and where magic is determined through everything. It affects your day-to-day stuff. It affects how you fight. It affects everything. And our main character is the most shonen person you can get. He's a kid who is real short and has zero magic in his body. But he still has the aspiration to be the Wizard King. I know, get to deal with it, it's anime stuff, but anyways, regardless, yes, he has the notion of being this all-powerful mage that kind of is the highest rank of mage, despite him having not a goddamn bit of power. So he knows he doesn't really have any power, and he sucks at using magic. You find out that he doesn't have any magic to begin with. So he starts exercising, and he starts like just getting himself fucking jacked up. So he's a short dude who's just fucking shredded beyond belief. And also another thing that exists in this world is grimoires. They're like the thing that allows you to like actually use magic. They're like this extension of magic, so to speak. And they're all kind of different. Some are like wind magic thing, or like summoning scroll, or like talisman book. It's like book. It's the book that can allow you to fuck shit up. Anyways, the main character goes in to do his, like, it's very much like Harry Potter, where, like, you go in to get the wand, and the wand chooses you, kind of thing. And yes, long story short, he gets a grimoire, but it's a sword. And the sword, and its only thing, is that it's anti-magic. So, in a world where magic is like the be-all, end-all, there was this kid who had nothing, had not a drop of magic, but had all the courage in the world. And still enough to fight for his goal. Then, that kid who's never had magic has the tool to make people not have magic anymore. Not permanently, of course, it's like dispelled spell or whatever. But it's super cool idea because it's basically like the idea of like, in a world of mages, the warrior class is born. But on top of being a warrior class, he happens to have the biggest cheat code in the system to help fuck up all your basic ass shit. And it's just so good. It's such a good show. Such a good show. I love it to pieces. And again, season 1 wasn't that ideal, but it was okay. But season 2, 3, and onwards, it's just getting better. People have kind of grown out of hating Black Clover because it does get significantly better. Especially when it stops holding out. It starts showing you, like, all the things that you want to see, which most anime would, like, hold back until the last minute to show you the thing that you wanted to see, just to keep you around and keep you invested and keep you doing all those things. People warmed up to it, but I just want to say why I liked the first season. Also, to more explain why I like the show is it has, again, really cool ideas, like kind of like Overlord in like having contradictive characters. Like, for instance, one of the coolest things I heard, not really executed that well, but the things I heard when watching Black Clover is the Grinned Berserker. That was one of the people that's in his guild, and that was his nickname. And that, to me, is such an interesting idea. And when I seen the character's design, I thought it was even cooler. Because the design of it is like this really like blonde boy with blue eyes, and he's just really happy. He's kind of short, and he has like just this kind of like warm voice, like super like peppy. Except he just loves combat to pieces. He's like a psycho. He just loves to fight. And when he fights, he has this giant like grin on his face, like he's just never been happier. And that's the name, the Grinned Berserker. And you find out some stuff about his backstory that's less great. He's kind of broken in a sense. But anyways, yeah, I just thought, what a fucking cool thing. What a wicked thing. What a cool idea. And yeah, again, the one thing I would suggest is, one thing that you're going to hate is that most of the shows are like, the first season, first 2 seasons maybe, are like, maybe one episode is like 10 to 12 minutes. Yeah, a lot of that's one of the biggest criticisms that people had in the first season is that 90% of the show was a recap, and it is. It's very annoying. Just skip through that shit. It's boring. It's stupid. But again, if you're able to make it through season 1 and 2, then you're good. You're like, and I think season 2 is when it gets good, when you're introduced to like the mages of each guild, like the top mages. Anyway, it gets real good. Now, because we're dragging ass and we're taking up a lot of time, the other thing that I would like to suggest to you is one quick YouTube series. Every now and again, the people that I watch who are amazing go beyond, go plus ultra, and they fucking kill it with a lovely series. Of course, I'm talking about Funhouse. I love them to pieces. Think they're the funniest people pretty much on YouTube. And if you guys haven't seen it, or if you guys are just wanting to see a lot of funny people in a funny game that was probably ahead of its time, and is just generally spectacular and hilarious, go watch Might and Magic Funhouse Edition. They play a game that's pretty old, but it's, again, like I said, probably ahead of its time. And it's really funny, really hilarious. It's a pretty long series. I think it's still ongoing at this point, but it's just great. Watch the first 2 episodes and tell me that you didn't laugh, and I'll be like, really? Alright. Okay, I thought it was pretty fucking amazing. Universally funny. But who knows? But yes, those are my recommendations on to you guys. Are the 3 songs that I thought were lovely, 2 animes, mainly focusing on like Fate Stay Night, Apocalypse, because it was just more things I thought were cool, not cool, than Black Clover. I do like Black Clover probably more than Fate Stay Apocalypse or whatever, but still thought it was worth talking about. Essentially the reason why I like certain shows. Thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed listening to me ramble about the things that I enjoy, and hopefully give some of them a try. If not, I completely understand. And subscribe button above me, 2 videos to my right. Thank you for your time. Also, thank you for supporting the channel, and goodbye.